What's up, fellow YouTubers? Welcome back to another episode of Skye in City Skylines 2. Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at what we got up to during my Twitch stream. And this is the area which I concentrated in my Twitch stream. I used a lot of different assets here, but I absolutely love the China regional park assets, the buildings that's come out, the office buildings, the residential buildings. It's such a great fit into this part of my city. Only a little bit of detailing. I did put some benches, park benches down. I changed a lot of the surfaces. I've obviously used some graffiti on the walls up at the back there, which is a nice little added touch. I also put my own little spin on things in terms of the surfaces, which is another nice little added touch. But this little asset here, which got released with the China Regional Park, this metal curve, this is a lovely touch to the city. Really nice asset as well. I had fun creating that. When I mean creating, I mean plopping into my city. And obviously I done this part 2 weeks ago now as well. That's your hospital to there. I think that's a French hospital, which was a nice added touch to the city. So onto the build. So I do detail this subway yard up, add more industry, and I build a massive warehouse. I also add a road maintenance building, which I detail up quite nicely. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the build. But before we continue, be sure to check out my description below for all my social media links. You'll find my Twitch, X, Blue Sky, and a link to my Discord. Feel free to drop in, say hi, and if you play City Skylines 2, share your creations with me in the community. It's always awesome to see what everybody else is building, and it shares ideas as well. If you do like this episode though, why not hit that like button? Be greatly appreciated. Also, leave me a wee comment down below, let me know that you're here, let me know that you're enjoying my content. A little bit of feedback is always greatly appreciated. Now that the intro is out of the way, I'm kicking things off by placing a cargo station in the area, followed by laying out the road network. So, my vision though for this area is to develop a low residential neighbourhood over the other side of the main road entering into my city. But before that, I want to establish some industry here first. Then in the next episode, I'll start adding like low residential housing. I'll build another road coming directly from the city along the water edge here. The only reason why I've done that is because my junction coming into the city is going to get really crowded. It's going to be a busy junction. So I thought, why not now in the early days of development, let's get another road thrown in there and let's put it along the coastline. So after I've got this road in place, I do a little bit of terraforming. So I basically change the terrain up a little bit here. I also I change my brush, should I say? I change my brush and I sort of get nice looking sort of peaks. I'm probably going to fix it though on a Twitch stream because I'm not that happy with it, but it's fine now. I can live with that now. I then start zoning in some industrial buildings into this area. One thing that the game could be doing with is more industrial buildings. I feel like the industrial buildings that we've got are all, the vanilla side of things, are all just so boring. So looking forward to future DLCs from our industrial area in game. Although I'm pretty sure we're a long way off from that. For the next part, I cut right through the mountain just to get my train line for my materials for my cargo area connected. I put this lovely little bend in for the train line. I've obviously fixed the train line at the other side as well. Just to, I think it looks not too bad. I do use my Move It mod here just to move it a little bit, and I fixed the height difference just shortly. So which is not too bad. Every little helps and all that. So I don't want it too high, don't want it too low, but I had to raise that up because obviously the train's underneath. And I didn't want it sat on the cables. I obviously again use my Move It mod and I just try and level all the rest of the lines off. As you can see, I've got a lot of dips in the line, so you don't want that. You don't want bumps, a bumpy train line. So yeah, that's turned out quite nicely. And for my next part, the pillars come back out to play. Yes, they are back out. From the Find It mod, I basically love using these pillars to create my own little quirky little buildings. So yeah, it brings my own little touch to my own little city that I'm currently making. So in terms of what this building actually is, I don't actually know. I just thought, you know what, let's create a building, put some industrial stuff inside it, or around it should I say, put a couple of doors on it, parking spaces, Bob's your uncle, Granny's your aunt, you know what I'm saying. Skipping slightly ahead now, once I've got the main pillars in place, I get the smaller pillars, which these all can be found on the Find It mod. Got my words twisted there, almost. So, kind of skipping ahead. Also, I'm using the Move It mod to place these into place. I also start off with some of the doors. I go down to my extra assets tool, click along to the tab with the doors, and yes, now you're going to see me here. I do start off, I know the doors are upside down, I do turn them. The doors are upside down, so yellow bits to the bottom, and the windows, yeah, that's the wrong way. I do spin them around eventually. Oops. For the next part, I just click into the non-functional assets, and just to get this roof, so it isn't looking too flat. So obviously, once all the doors and windows are done, the roof's in place. It doesn't actually look that bad, to be fair, and it just takes away the flatness of the roof. For the next part, I thought there's something missing just a little bit here, so all I've done here was I went down to my Find It. I put a couple of vents up on the roof just to give it that realism, and a couple of AC units as well. I also found this lovely little ladder for the side as well, just for access for the roof. So I actually attached that to the side of the building as well. Just my own personal little touch to my Skye city. So for this next part, this is where I'm going to speed things up here, because this is where the detailing comes into play. So I'll be back in just one moment. So for my next part, I do go into my Find It mod and I type in warehouse and I find this lovely big warehouse, and I just basically plop two of them down and put them both together. Now I don't know what exactly is going to go in here, so we need to let our imagination run wild just a little bit, where it's going to be for mail cargo, where it's going to be a big shop depot facility. I don't know, but we'll just let our imagination run wild just a little bit. So I went back into my Find It mod and I found this lovely little parking booth, and you guessed it, I'm going to have a little security checkpoint here, topped off with two barriers at either side. So it's something typical that you'll find, especially at a UK sort of depot. Moving on though, so after I do put the fence around the depot, I then put a surface down, which, yeah, looks not too bad. I'm pretty sure I do change this up actually. I'm not too sure if I stick with this colour. I know, how can I not remember? It's me that actually built this and done this. However, this actually got recorded a couple of days ago and I actually have just come off my night shift. I would say that's absolutely dedication right there. Just come off my night shift, 3 o'clock in the morning, and boom, straight into editing. Can you believe it? I'm actually still awake. The only issue is I've got 2 madcaps running about and it's currently 5 AM in the morning. So on that note, I am going to speed things up and I promise you I'm not going to fall asleep. However, I will be back in just one moment. So moving on to the subway yard, I extend the surface all the way down to roughly the start of the tunnel, and I'm just right clicking there, just getting rid of that, where it's clinging onto the surface I mean. And I actually had to go back into my subway. I had to go to the subways, you know, the icon at the top left where you can go into your transportation. I had only 2 carriages on, for my obviously my lines, which was really bad, so I had to go in and edit that up and put the vanilla carriages back on. As you can see here, I do put my fence line down and I do put that right around the border. It gives it a nice finishing touch. Once I'm done with the fence around the border, I then use Sully's dirt decals just to dirty up the tracks a little bit, because after all it is the little details that counts in any build that you do within the game. Just outside the subway yard, I do put a couple of office buildings here. As you can see, I've also put 2 parking lots just at either side of these buildings. So yeah, I just wanted to make just a little industrial area over on this part, just to utilise the space as well. I really want to start filling space. And then change the surface up on the car parks that you can see here. And then throw in some detailing around the car parks as well, which you can see here. So moving on to my lovely road maintenance extension. As you can see, I've placed a surface with a lot of the vehicles inside that little pen bit to the left. Also add 2 oil tankers there as well. I just want to make it like they've got their own fuel supply for their vehicles, which is a handy thing to have on site. Moving on to the pen that I've created for the vehicles, I add a couple of Sully's mods in here as well as Elgendos. I want to make it look like the roads had a bit of wear and tear, and you've had, you know, some tyre marks skidding about, vehicles skidding about doing whatnot. For this area in the corner though, I do detail this area up. No, not with a tree. I managed to find a container. I put a couple of cones here as well. Now, normally cones will be stacked on top of each other like upright, but you know what, I probably could do that, but it's just too much effort, I'm going to be honest with you. So I just put a random amount of cones just down, laying them out like so. You can see I also put barriers down there as well, and I sort of fence this area off because I want this area sort of enclosed away from separated from the vehicles. Even though they're in the same vicinity, I just want to make it look like that they're tidily away, packed away. What I could have done actually, thinking about it now, is I could have had some sort of roof over this. Some sort of roof or something. I might actually incorporate that into a Twitch stream actually. That could be a shout. Maybe get some sort of asset that isn't a non-functional asset, should I say. So as you can see, I'm putting some containers down there as well. I wish we could open the doors to the containers though. Just maybe having a couple of the doors open with some of the assets poking out. That'd be a nice touch as well. So yeah. And as you can see, I've put like a rubbish container there as well. I do finish this area up by putting some lights down as well. And I'm going to be honest with you, I love this. I love this little area. I think it looks not too shabby at all. So once I'm done with changing the surface, I think to myself, right, lovely bit of parking would go nice in here just for our citizens who want to come and work. Yep, we're using our little bit of imagination here, guys. And it's nothing special with the car parks, just finding a vanilla car park and then just plopping it down. And then obviously finishing the edging off with some bushes and continuing a little fence just at the front, separating obviously the road for the parking. So it just gives it that finishing little touch. So I'm just dirtying this area up. As you can see here, I've already dirtied the car parks. This is another one of Sully's mods that I've brought into this build. However, that is an absolute wrap, folks, for this episode. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lasting this long if you're still here. And I'm going to leave you with some flyovers. But before I go, do hit that like button if you did go like the content here. And hit that subscribe if you want to see more. And even leave me a wee comment down below. Just let me know how I'm doing. A wee bit of feedback's always appreciated. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we're all good here. Also, check out the description below for all the mods that I have used in game. There'll be links down there for you to click on. And a road maintenance building was well needed in my Skye series, so yeah. Anyway, this is the area that I concentrate on next, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to put low residential area down this end of the city. But for now, you've been watching me, Beardy Brown, and until next time, happy gaming.